Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Power here, and in today's scroll saw project video, got a fun little word art project. I shouldn't say little, it's actually quite big, but it's designed by Steve Good, and it's a beautiful representation of the word family. Here is the pattern. I've already got it printed out to full size and attached with clear packing tape to the material, and I'm using 2 pieces of that 1/4 inch shipping crate material again. I still have a ton of that left over for projects. It calls for 3/4 inch thick, but I want to make 2 at one time if I can. And the reason I say if is this pattern is fairly big. It takes up 2 pieces of computer paper, and you cut it on the dotted line and then attach it to make the one solid pattern. And I say that because my scroll saw is a 16-inch Delta, and the pattern is actually bigger than the throat capacity, and when you put it next to the blade, it hits the back of the throat, if you can hear that, and I hope that shows up on camera. I'm going to do some different cutting techniques that I wouldn't normally do in a scroll saw project on this video. This is a fairly straightforward cut if you have a larger 20 or 30-inch scroll saw. Again, this is a 16-inch scroll saw, but what I'm going to do is begin by cutting the entire outside of the pattern first, and then I'm going to go back and do the interior cuts where I have the brads holding everything together that will release everything from the pieces and produce 2 beautiful pieces of art. I hope I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be doing some, I'm going to have to set up the camera differently, and I'm going to have to be doing some different cutting techniques over here on the scroll saw. But right now, let's head over to the drill press, drill the few pilot holes we do need, and then come back and try to cut this big piece out.
And over here on the drill press, we're drilling the few pilot holes that this project has. Not very many, and then we're going to head over to the scroll saw and start scrolling. And as I said before, I'm beginning doing the outside cuts, which would normally release the piece from the wood, but I've got it tacked together with the brad nails in the final interior cut, so the pieces will not fall apart when I actually release it from the wood. And I'm going this route so I do not hit the back of the scroll saw with all the excess wood that is around the word family. I am just sometimes limited to projects I can cut out on this scroll saw, with it being a 16-inch, and this project was right at that size, so I opted to do the outside cuts first to limit some of that waste wood and hopefully not bump into the back of the scroll saw throat. I'm using number 5 reverse tooth, shark tooth scroll saw blades, and they are cutting extremely well. The design is a Steve Good design, and if you would like to try the pattern, you can download it free at his website at scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com over in the free pattern catalog. Now that I'm done with all the outside cuts, I'm going to do the internal cuts. There's one in the Y, one in the A, and then the big one in the middle is the one that will actually release this project from the wood. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel to see all future updates, and also follow me online over on my Instagram page at Artisan Pirate. I try to post there frequently. Now doing the final cut, and I'm just being careful with it, holding everything together as I cut, and you can see how close it comes to the back side of the scroll saw there when cutting. But we're going to come around here, and all of the cutting will be done, and it will release both pieces. Since we're stack cutting, it will release both pieces from the wood. Now we're going to head over to sanding, and I'm just using 100 grit sandpaper in the palm sander, sanding both pieces up front and back nice and smooth, and the project for this video was complete.
And here we have the completed family word art, and as a result of stack cutting, we got two beautiful family word arts for the time it took to cut out one. It took around 25 minutes to cut them out. As you've seen in the video, I did not break a blade. I showed the process from beginning to end, which is something I don't normally do because of all the time it takes to do interior cuts. I know people are going to ask, why didn't I use a spiral blade to cut this out, and then I'd have had unlimited throat in each and every direction. I tried spiral blades a long time ago and I did not like them. I might revisit them in the future, but I do prefer the straight blades as opposed to the spiral blades, and that's just my preference. If you guys like cutting with the spiral blade, more power to you, and I tip my hat to you if you have mastered them, because I certainly have not. Again, it might be something I revisit in the future, but for now I love the straight blades. I normally wouldn't do the outside cut first and then go back and do the interior cuts. That is just what I had to do in my case with the situation, so I would remove all the waste and then not have to worry about it bumping in to the back of the scroll saw throat when I was doing the internal cuts. As you've seen when I was cutting, I tried to keep the blade towards this side with the table and the majority of the piece hanging towards me. That way I didn't have to worry about it swinging around and hitting the back of the scroll saw blade and stopping me from cutting. I hope you guys picked up some tips in this video. This project is amazing. I love my family dearly, and this project would look good in a family home where everybody gathers, maybe in the middle of a bunch of portraits to represent the whole family. I will probably stain and finish one and give the other one away to be finished another way, however who I give it to chooses to finish it. But it was an amazing design. Thank you, Steve Good, for a great design. Always coming up with great and unique patterns. One more look at it. And I really think they both turned out awesome. That is about all for this video. Remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.